Tequila sunset. Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package. Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. Classy.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail!
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder slash junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I had 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. It helped, truly. With my trusty Sansarique Lycra tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin. much like my tracksuit. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the keyring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly. Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent, first and foremost. Not being responsible for 20 other people is nice too. But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit and spending your days picking tear. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece Lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
Sounds intriguing. What say you, Art Cop? If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
I know! It was fucking awesome! Too bad I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away. What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on. Feel that primo material. Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time. My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, Tequila! You want to buy some...
Shut the fuck up, Rosie.
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my Lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? Nah, this isn't it. Faun, that's medium concept stuff. Totally not my style. No fucking way. Idiot Doom Spiral never forgets a piece of premium menswear.
Hey, Doom Spiral. Ain't that the jacket you stole the other week?
Not on your fucking life, Rosemary. What's wrong with you people? Like I'd be caught dead wearing Faun, like some low-concept bicycle courier. Tell you what, Tequila. Why don't you just hang on to that one? I'll get another jacket. Someday. I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. Then I can't keep on telling the story.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache. You finally stop picking your nose. Time passes. What if the sun just one day turned off? The world thrown into an eternal darkness. A grim future indeed.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind... Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure, let me have a look. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. Oh, no. A photic?
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic baths are, but the tattoos are...
Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you. It's unclear whether you undoubtedly... Sure. The door seems to be locked.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're Mr. Everett.
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon? Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
You get a sinking feeling. Oh my God, you've been played.
You're right, Harry. There's no need for that. Ha! I guess what matters is that my message got across. That this is a takeover? That I want a war? God, I hope you also told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of the yacht club. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck. Harry, I can't see into the future. We are all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd react so strongly. I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling her horror stories from inside the harbour. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up. No, no, Harry. What we have is real. We're worth Harry. I bugged her cabin. I bugged her whole boat. I had cameras surveying her boat. Hell, I even wanted to bug that thermal cap. But my boys advised against it. Not me personally. I had guys recording and processing this information for me. Hell no! They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. They sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Harry. Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay that information to her. You could have kept it for yourself. Against you? Oh, Harry, I'd like to think I used it for you.
It was interesting. No arguing against that.
Of course she did. Rich people have the best stories about all the interesting things they've done and seen, all the beautiful places they've been to. It's just sentimentalism. She can afford to be sentimental, and she can afford to lose as well. She's not insane. What did she tell you? No, she's not. She's a sentimental alcoholic. They all are. Never take a drop and you'll be 8 laps ahead of those upper-class winos. Just like old Mr. Clare here. Try it. You'll be a real super detective. Don't just say it, Harry. Do it. We gotta be more disciplined than they are, or we'll lose. What was always going to happen? We take the harbour and she fucks off to Ozon, uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partners, and says they need to distance themselves from this nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire. Harry, when I need to tell people, I might as well do it myself. That's why I like initiative, and inspiring initiative. It's more natural that way.
And safer too. You never know who you can trust.
You knew something big, and you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you. Inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money. It's better than pussy. Money only makes you special for some salesman. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Right on, Harry. What you did was participate in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice. None of us ever do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you weren't one to resist temptation. But look at me going on, like some kind of a father figure. And to think we're about the same age. Now there's a whole lot of work to do. For me and for you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's get to it. I'm always happy. Very nice. Most certain. By all means, Harry.
woman is still hunched.
Huh?
A lorry, the smell of cigarettes enclosed.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno! Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to crawl up your ass!
Kuno knows which Kipt Kuno meant. Kuno knows all the Kipt. Kuno's dad's a Kipt expert. Says Kipt every day. 100 times a day. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit about anything.
Try to crawl out of Kuno's ass now!
Yeah? The fuck did you want anyway? You got your fuck bag down? Fucking right, pig. Fuck no, pig.
Belying the act, he's actually telling the truth. Or at least 0.00001% of it. He has a little speed. He's just not giving it to you. You need to befriend him first. What's going on? He's like you don't have enough on your plate. You feel a sudden surge of self-pity coming on.
Fuck no.
Kuno! They've all...
Ease off, see? Kuno...
He'd rather die than work.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
There are 8 pairs. You won't get... An inconspicuous pile of the... The trash can... The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong. An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This... This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand crank. Turning the... It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet. Both cables are unplugged from the breaker box. Both cables are somewhere. A machine hums along with the current. Somewhere. This orange machine is buzzing. 2 cables, something, an electric sizzle. The bear's eyes are dead and empty. A friendly, the papers. A cockatoo. This book talks about the delicate... You're right. Ouch. Not great. Performing. Yes. Despite its... Perhaps. In the words. The dented yellow meld. There is a hollow, saddened ring. Your toe has... Several maps. The maps look old and...
I'm sorry, officer. They're quite valuable. There's that old thing. From when
The place does not look like a success.
They didn't get that far.
The north to the east, Hudon. It's so... No. This is... This bookstore is not... The man ponders. The cook, shakes his... You clearly see footprints in the damp. Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. You catch a single white flower between your fingers. The rest fly off into the wind. It's a Maybell. Six crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown. Somewhere in central Jamrock, Lieutenant Kitsuragi steps into the public library. Rows of shelves pass on either side. You feel he should be here for this, for in-depth flower analysis. Two neon-lit shapes. This medicine cabinet is stocked with pharmaceuticals line the pill bottle. Nacra, among some for... A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, still not happening. The window stands broken. The morning light. The bed is still cold from the broken window.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
I'm going to say, God fucking.
None of this is okay. I would...
Okay.
It's a mere second.
Yes, it's a hobby.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction.
No. If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now. Actually, I don't want to.
Come on, Jean.
Okay, say things.
Hear that? Suddenly, out of nowhere, case-related things start popping up in your head.
I get it, okay. But what is the motive? That would be my first guess, yes. I don't know. Why are you?
It's like you felt it would be intellectually stimulating and would lead somewhere. A custom even?
Oh my god, there's more. Okay, why not? So, do you know who hanged him? Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. Oh my god, there's more. Okay, why not? Well, where have you looked for her? West of here? Tough luck. I don't know. Why? Oh my god.
Hey, was there something got the 20 right? Then why are you...
Oh, hello, sweet. Of course, dear. I thought we'd agreed on just one cryptid, sweetie. Can't say no to that. Well, the most dangerous cryptid is thought to have been the Gnome of Jeroma. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue almost entirely. It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and an ungainly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the Gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die. Alas, no. And the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient? Sure, a perfectly good explanation.
No, it's the cryptid. Oh yes. The eight-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until...
Mutation? All of evolution is a mutation.
Until it was sighted by renowned Gotvaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm. The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert. An ancient riverbed completely dried up. Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird. It seemed gargantuan. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uwe got there, the teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean. This more like he followed it. A bird that big has many liters of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall, where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist. Then the teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird. The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uva spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away. Absolutely, sweetie. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrao is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
Sadly, yes, but there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Il Mara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
Very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking, that man is into cryptids. So, what else do you want to know? That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes. The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable. No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost 1/3 of your field of vision. That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Great. This is great shit. You need more. Gravity anomaly? Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
Cryobacter catlensis. Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla, on the Boreal Plateau, by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago. The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate, certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study. No doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life. Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea. Yes, and she's quite mad too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now. Of course, dear.
Hi again, Gendarme. Bye-bye, Gendarme.
The Coppernado is back. What do you want? Yeah? What?
Yes? What is it?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember.
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
Well, he's not. He's a sack of shit barely kept together by crazy glue. But at least he tries, unlike you.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange.
This orange machine is dead still. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. This orange machine is dead still. It has ice groans and howls under the strain of your giant Gewaltsund multi-tool until the lid cracks open. Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep, a filament memory with the words "off-site copy" written on its side. You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding, careful not to damage it. Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer upstairs. Tiles on the cube, like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the offsite copy? Good. Please repeat the password. No, that's not it.
Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw on the stained glass window.
Good. I've unlocked the offside copy. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Ka-ching.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Yes, I am alive. I work as for...
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark. Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Now, thank you. And
Tiles on the cube are still. The filament slides out. Nothing happens. Like a smooth, nothing happens. The speaker.
Good afternoon. Please repeat. Is this the offside copy? Good. Please repeat the password. Good.
Ka-ching.
Fortress thank you.
Tiles on the cube are. It sounds like something cracks before the piece of paper starts filling up with pure black ink. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. The paper is soaked with ink, its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any information. It's just black upon black. Nothing to see here. Tiles on the cube